All right, welcome to the Olympic recap episode of Served, brought to you by Chase. We're about to do the Racket Rundown, brought to you by Wilson. I'm about to have a refreshment, brought to you by Olipop. Look at us, guys. Look at us. Look what we did. Look what we did. Listen, I think this Olympics was about the best it could be. For tennis. I think it's an awkward moment in time where people are coming down from Roland Garros, Wimbledon, the fact that we start the US Open in 3 weeks. There's a lot to pay attention to if you're a tennis fan. But this was just full of like fun, good, interesting drama, storylines. It felt like tennis was additive to the Olympics. Which isn't always the case, right? Tennis has this infrastructure where we pay attention to it all the time, and we have these major events that go. It's a global sport. It's not, I think every kid growing up wants to win an Olympic medal, but I think tennis players specifically think about Wimbledon, the US Open, Roland Garros, et cetera, et cetera. I thought the storylines were fantastic. Siniokova and Machach winning the gold in the mixed doubles. When I was reading about it going in, they were together. When I was reading reports midway through, it was like they broke up before the tournament. They're smooching at the end after you win gold. I mean, to be fair, I think I would smooch any partner I had if I won a gold medal. So props to them. Mike, you would do well, right? If you and Rose if you broke up, right? If your wife Rose and you just broke up right before like a major thing, you guys would be fine, right?
I mean, bro, we can't even fold laundry together correctly. I don't even know how we would play a high stake doubles match, let alone anything.
Brooke and I have gotten into a fight before by like these words have been spoken, and like an hour later we'd have to like ice our vocal cords. Like it's like, what do you want for dinner? So I don't know what's going on with them. It looks like they might not know what's going on with them.
Yeah, she said afterwards, that's our personal life, so you don't need to know that, while smiling.
I don't know. And listen,
we like when you are confused is the quote.
I gotta think like
she got us.
She did. I love it. I think it's a great storyline. It's tabloidal, gossipy, still kind of fun. I will tell you, like, I got to think an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend would be better if they were a major part of you getting a gold medal. Like, I think they'd probably be more. I bet Machach looked way more attractive, like, post-match after she was wearing a gold medal that he was responsible for.
Well, we learned that from the Bryan Bros. So
yeah, that's right. That's right. They can steal each other's gold medals. Anyways, I thought that was great. I think this is probably the most interesting mixed doubles event for me, because a medal's a medal. Their gold medal doesn't look any different than the Novak's gold medal, right? So I thought that was a great storyline. I loved seeing the different matchups, who plays together, who doesn't, how you kind of negotiate that. I thought it was great. On the women's double side, the summer of Pau continues. Paolini and Irani, we don't give her into you guys who just started like following tennis like 12 seconds ago. Irani she made the finals of Roland Garros in singles back in the day, and I don't know that she can serve over 87 miles an hour. Just her tennis IQ is through the roof. And if you watch her play doubles, she constantly puts the ball in a position where you cannot attack. She is so smart with the way she plays. Tennis IQ through the roof, and Paolini obviously has been one of the best players on the planet the last couple of months. It was fun to see them get glory. What would you have thought going in? If I would have told you in January, Sinner doesn't play the Olympics, Italy wins a gold and a bronze. Pretty good. Musetti coming in, winning the bronze. For Italy, he has come around. I mean, post Roland Garros, his run has really been something special with winning making the finals of Queens, making the semis of Wimbledon, and now winning bronze, losing to one Novak Djokovic in the semis, and then closing it out. And then Qinwen winning a gold medal, representing the country of China and going back to China. That has to be as big as a Grand Slam. I have to think it's as big. The Nike ad that comes out before, where it's like, I don't have to smile at everyone, I just want to win. It just is like, it kind of all comes together. It makes me think of that episode with Max Eisenbud where Lee Na started winning and her value just shot through the roof. Qinwen was already probably there, But what a win! Way to close. Beating Iga Swiatek in the semis on that court. No small task. Congrats to her. Donna Vekic, I mean, how tough is she? Coming off that heartbreaker of a loss, playing a million hours of tennis at Wimbledon, losing that tight win to Paolini, coming back, winning silver. I didn't see her winning a silver medal on this surface. I know she's a great fast court player. I don't think clay is her favorite surface. Coming off of that disappointment, jumping right back, playing for your country, winning a silver medal, props. Swiatek's reaction when she won the bronze was confusing. I think it was like, I'll have a medal. I'm glad I can, have a medal for Poland, and I'm really pissed that I expected to be playing for a gold, and anything less than that. Her expectation set is so high now that if she's playing on clay and doesn't win, it's got to be like Heartbreak Hotel, right? She's just created this massive shadow. But props to her, because I know that loss in the semis had to be just horrible. So to come back and beat Schmidlova in the bronze medal match, props to Swiatek. The U.S. men coming through in the doubles. Didn't quite get the gold, and we'll get to the Ebden Piers of things. Tale of two sides of the draw and two different varietals of tennis for Matt Ebden, the way that it started with singles and the way that it ended with doubles. But the U.S. men, props. Rajiv Ram has really carved out a hell of a career playing with Austin Krajicek. Won a couple of times on tour at Newport. Was up. Hopefully I don't sell him short. 50, 60, 70 in the world in singles for a while, and has really been undersold as a story. Not the first time he's medaled at the Olympics. Big win. Didn't quite get across the line in the gold medal match, but had a huge win in the semis against Rafa Raz. Oh, sorry, in the quarters against Rafa Raz. And just played great. And Taylor Fritz, I mean, listen, nobody confuses him with Edberg, right? No one confuses him with McEnroe. But the way to win, I thought it was brilliant the way that they strategized to really let Fritz just tee off and create pace of shot. Able to deliver the bronze medal with Techie Sean's favorite and his good buddy, Tommy Paul. McConaughey must be thrilled. But props. Listen, you have two teams in, and you bring away two medals. Not the gold, but hey, you going in, if you would have said, hey, the teams are going to win two medals, take it or leave it, they would have taken it.
It's great. They beat legends on the way too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely. They had a great run. So props to them. Also, if you would have said, men or women walk away with two medals, you probably would. I have favored the women on Tennis Channel Live. I think they asked me that question 3 weeks ago, and I just said, listen, golf, Pagula, golf, doubles, the whole situation. You would have probably bet on the U.S. women. So they have to be a little bit disappointed. I'm sure they would tell you these are not the results they want. It was kind of full of drama with the Danimal and Swiatek and Emma Navarro speaking out, and that's not really something that we're, Danimal kind of going off and being pissed off at someone isn't something new. It's something I participated in heavily during my career. Navarro, not so much, but 0 medals on the takeaway for the U.S. women. High hopes, disappointing, such as life, such as sports. Nothing scripted, and no guarantees. That's why it's the best reality show in the world, and you have to respect that even if you don't come up on the good side of it. Producer Mike.
What's the emotional transfer for them right now? Heading in, now they have to recenter, refocus, and get back into preparation for the Open. Yeah,
full Elsa mode. Let it go. Yeah. Let it go. Coco has a title defense. Jess Pegula still wants to make the semis of a Grand Slam. I think they'll reset pretty quickly. Probably less of a hangover because they have to get right back to it. I'm guessing most will go straight to Canada and hopefully play. We'll see. We're shooting this on Sunday evening right after the results for the Olympics. You're probably listening to it Tuesday morning. So I'm expecting a ton of pullouts in Canada. So I would be shocked if we saw a lot of the players who were in the tail end. I know Musetti's already pulled out. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw people just need a break at some point. Tough to go right back in. So we'll see who pulls out of Canada.
Where they will be, though? You know where they will be?
Tell me.
Cincinnati.
Oh.
Much like us.
You know who else will be in Cincinnati? Fresh off of not winning a medal is producer Mike.
Yeah. And Techie Sean.
Yeah.
And John Wertheim.
Yeah. You guys can not win medals and go to Cincy too.
Yeah, look at us.
Yeah, look at you.
Have you seen that social media thing going around where it's people saying like, "Oh, my failed attempt at making the U.S. national team or making the Olympics," and it's just like completely tragic, like pole vaulting and stuff like that.
That's so good. I still I know there's this thing going around where I still think there should be one normie in every event. Like imagine the 100 meters. Imagine the 100 meters with a normie.
I mean,
like an athletic normie, like a guy who runs 4 miles, 4 times a week. One of those normies, like a really fit normie.
Just hamstring explodes 4 steps in.
Yeah, like the best athlete in your office. That's who I want in every event. Like butterfly. You imagine like your most athletic friend just doing the butterfly against like Ledecky.
I mean, just getting crushed.
It was Ledecky, by the way. Like I know this is a tennis podcast, but have you seen the stat where it's like the top 20 times ever in her kind of specialty swim? 1 through 20, Ledecky. Best times of all time. That's absurd.
That's insane.
That's the cool. I mean, it's like, it's dumb. It's so dumb. She's so dominant. She's so cool. I love everything about her. And also like fun stories. Listen, Matt Ebden got thrown to the wolves because of idiocy in alternates at the Olympics. Like you can't put Petros Tsitsipas in the singles draw when he just doesn't even play singles. Never has.
How do you solve that problem?
You have to have like you got to let someone bring an extra body as an alternate each team, but like you can't, like Matt Ebden hasn't played a singles match, and I don't know, I might be exaggerating, but slightly 3 or 4 or 5 years. You put him against Novak Djokovic. Come on now. Like you don't train to like run and cover a court. Like that's not it. Like that's doing no one any favors, and it sucks that like when that does happen, you're against Novak and they have to put you on center. Like you can't just hide the fact that you have like a shitty solution to this problem. I do think you would have a lot less pullouts. I think there's nobody that can tell me that Novak shouldn't get some benefit to his ranking from this event. We used to have points. We took them away. Yes.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. We used to be able to get like they had them, they didn't have them, took them away. You can never really. But
it seems like you should deserve them. I mean, you're putting your body on the line and
okay, let's just be smart. And I understand like you're going to get the Twitter fingers. You should play for your country. They all made the decision to play for their country anyways. Novak's there. FAA is there. FAA made the semis and gets a bag full of shit. Like it literally, there's nothing to show for it. He should have points at least. No one's getting paid. I'm not saying anyone should get paid. You should not get paid to play in the Olympics. At least not directly. But like you should have points. Like if they're playing for 500 points in Washington with that watered down ass draw, which I played and I skipped in Beijing in 2008 because I was recovering from a shoulder and played LA and watered down Washington. Didn't go very well for me still. But like so it's no disrespect to anyone who's playing that, but the strength of draw is weak and they're still giving out 500 points to the winner. Like, I can't be told that Novak doesn't deserve more points for what he did at the Olympics. Like, you're playing the same game. The best play, like, anytime you get all the best players that are taking it as seriously as possible in one place and you're beating them, you should get something like it's just dumb. I don't get it. They should get points. Ebden and Piers, listen, that was a tangent. Ebden started off like trying to win a game in singles against Novak and ended up winning a gold. So props to him. Props to John Piers. The specialist holding it down, all specialist final. Us dummies ripping on it. They said, shut up. Here we are. We came. And props to them. They played great stuff along with Rajiv and Austin Krajicek. Well done. And some of the best storylines came from the men's doubles. We talked about the Murray Evans on this. We did a show pre-Olympics, which we're going to release separately, I think, is what we decided on. Producer Mike. So this Olympic recap will be a standalone. It'll be a shorter show. And then we have a long one where we were stuck last week and you can't really talk about the Olympics before the results are done. And you can't really talk about Montreal where the Olympics are. So we just kind of went on one. And so JW, John Wertheim, our guy, basically just interviewed me 60 Minutes style. I didn't know the questions that were coming. That will be released separately. Maybe, I don't know, Thursday, Mike, something like that?
Yeah, probably Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll re-edit that. It showed on T2, but for those who listen and watch, maybe we'll put out the audio on Thursday. You will be listening to this on Tuesday for the first time. But that'll come out later. But we talked, coolest story was Murray Evans and what Evans did to play with Murray. I wish they would have won a medal for that effort. They didn't. Rafa Raz was all the buzz. That was just cool to see. Even though they kind of limped out of it a little bit and got out doubled by a couple of specialists who played a phenomenal match, by the way. Still great to see. In one of the things that we're going to have to get to in another episode very soon is Rafa is going to play Laver Cup, but this was his last, like, guaranteed, I'm playing as an active player. He told us that much afterwards, and it kind of got consumed by the rest of the Olympics. Is this the last time we see Rafa play for consequence? I don't know, and we'll revisit that at a later date. My guess is that I find it hard to believe that he's going to ramp up and try to make another run at the French Open, but I've been wrong about him before, and any analyst who has an opinion, we're just guessing. We're just guessing. We don't know. We're not in his inner circle. We're guessing. I certainly don't tick like the greatest players of all time. Can't understand it. But I don't know that he wants to be competing for titles at Bostad. I don't know that that's his lane. We will see. We're all better when he's around. Hopefully, we see him in big finals again. I don't know. It feels like it could be the end. It feels like Laver Cup could be a celebration. And again, don't put this on Twitter. Don't cut it up into different things. I hope he's around for as long as he wants to be around. I suspect Laver Cup will be a rightful celebration of Rafa's legacy.
Served is proudly presented by Chase. Did you know Chase cardholders can access exclusive benefits like preferred seating, discounts on merch, concessions, and more at your favorite events and venues around the country? Visit chase.com/experiences to learn more.
And then this fucking match with Novak and Alcaraz.
Unreal.
Dude.
Unreal.
I have goosebumps, like, just sitting here trying to come up with, like, words will fail me when trying to express the respect that I have for Novak, obviously for the totality of his career, but I'm going to say both of these things are true. Okay. He's been physically compromised all year. He said during the offseason last year with John Wertheim, he would take a gold medal over any tournament in 2024. And I believe him. I think a lot of people say that because they feel like they should. Novak means it because that's the only hole in his resume. That's the only thing you can argue for someone else over Novak is an Olympic gold medal. He knows that. Going out, you've been physically compromised all year. You haven't won a tournament. You haven't beaten a top 10 player all year. You had knee surgery on June 6th, and you won an Olympic gold singles against the current best player on earth, August 4th. Knowing that, he said afterwards, it blew my mind. This is the most Novak thing to say ever, just to tell us all to shut up. Said, I'd like to play in LA in 2028. Sure, I'll be 41. I'm not going to say he can't, because I've learned my lesson. Fool me once, fool me twice, shame on me. But this match, how much it meant to him, you could see it, you could feel it with the way he was grunting, crowd yelling between first and second serves, didn't get into it with him. You felt like there was a weight around this. You know, he's won Wimbledon 7 times. Not saying the Wimbledon final, it's the pinnacle of our sport. I felt like this meant more. Just based on feelings. And I'm telling you right now, we remember Jordan crossing over Brian Russell, holding the follow through. The 2 forehands that Novak hit in the second set tiebreaker on the run, creating speed, hitting it flat, short in the court, cross court, clean winners. When at best, the second one maybe was neutral. The first one was nowhere close to neutral. Clean winners against the fastest person maybe I've ever seen on a tennis court. He willed himself to this win. Served phenomenal. Carlos not getting consistent looks at your serve on a clay court when it's warm out, masterful. this was as masterful a performance as I've seen from him. And I understand the gravity of that statement. But chips down, calling your shot, saying this is the most important thing, not losing a set at 37 years old, and then beating Carlos Alcaraz, who, oh, by the way, has just won 2 Grand Slams in the last cup of coffee. I don't know. I've run out of superlatives. And the fact that he's like, and I'm glad that he said this, because I know he's been, it's weird now because I know it's when I'm talking about Novak, I think about how it's going to be copy and pasted. But, he's been a maniac in the most professional way for 20 plus years, to where like he had a bite of chocolate after he won Australia one year. Like that's, and so for him to say, like, is this enough? They basically asked him afterwards, and he said, I think so. It's the first time I've heard him say it. Good for him. Shit. Good for him. I hope he feels full and whole. It was stunning. And I was sitting with 2 friends of mine, Ross and Nat, in my backyard last night. And, they're talking, who's the favorite? I'm like, well, Carlos is the favorite. Like, think about games and time and momentum and the whole thing. And I told him, I said, listen, I got 50. If any of you want Carlos, and I won't even bring in the Vegas odds on this one. It just felt like Novak was a man on a mission. And all these like cliches, stepped up when it mattered, man on a mission, all those things, I roll my eyes at them half the time, because it's just like, I don't think athletes, like, if we could just choose how we play, then we just choose to play well all the time. He willed himself to this win. It was like he was an animal. Yeah, take it, Sean.
With a lack of momentum all year, like how do you mentally, especially against the guy who just beat you not even a month ago, how do you turn it around like that?
Well, so this is where, like, I think getting through Wimbledon, like, I think people are like, oh, he went through Wimbledon, he got dominated in the final. There was value in him getting through to that final. Getting those reps, even getting down, like, I can't tell you how he recovers mentally, because he's so far above anything that I could ever pretend to know. I think you don't forget how to operate. You don't forget that you can shorten a match into tense points. He's not going to forget the cadence of a match. It's just a matter of finding form. I think Wimbledon helped, and I think he was healthy going in, and he was pretty honest about going in. He said, like, I feel better here than I did at Wimbledon by far. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he would have been like, oh, I'm the out and out favorite. There's maybe something about playing Alcaraz where you have to hit a certain level, which actually might reduce nerves, where you're not protecting as a favorite. But that's just me guessing. But what I do know is that regardless of what happened from January to August, we also know what happened from 2007 to 2024. And you're not going to forget about that. There's bad scar tissue, and there's also scar tissue where it's like, wait, I know these feelings. I know that I can turn it. I also know that he'll know the mental gymnastics inside and out. I don't have to be better than Carlos every day. Maybe I'm not the best player in the world anymore, day in, day out. Maybe I don't have the body to do that day in, day out. But can I beat him today? Yeah, I can. Maybe I will, but I know I can't. So
where does the mentality go when it's only 3 sets, right?
It helps, I think. I mean, I don't know.
From the jump, right? You're at it.
Yeah, but also, like, he didn't get cute. Like, he knew that his best chance at a medal, and we said this in kind of the weird quasi-Olympic show from last week, he didn't mess around with doubles. He didn't stay in the village. He's singular focus. This is what I have to do. And recovery for 2 out of 3 sets, you're not going to get dragged into those 5 setters that can ruin you. He can play 2:45, 3, and recover the next day. It's like those extended 4.5, 5 hour, just knockdown, drag out thing. Yeah, the format helped, but that doesn't matter because everyone's playing the same format. He's 37, dude. Went in. He doesn't know if he'll play again. I hope I play in LA. Great. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. He's treating this match like it's the last chance he's going to get because he just doesn't know. To come up with that performance against that player on that stage when it means that much to you, that's goating.
Carlos said after the match, he said in the tough moments, he gave it an extra push.
Yeah.
And like, that's what it was. You were watching it and you were just like, oh my God, like this stuff was stuff that myths are made of, and it's not like Alcaraz was just a guy that was lucky to be there.
And also like Novak, I mean, the mentality and the shot selection. So think about this, guys. So those two forehands I'm referencing where he just rifled forehand winners cross court. One was on the full run. One was kind of the second one. Like he at least had his right foot on the outside. The other one, he was like, his feet were crossed, like, and he hit a winner. It was absurd. But also knowing that the 2000 and whatever, 16 version of myself, 15 version of myself, 2012 version of myself is there with enough time to not have to actually be as aggressive on those shots. Like he knows he has to, like, imagine in a split second knowing that you have to pull the trigger on that, execute it a certain way, and having the clarity of thought in those moments to not only make the right decision, to pull it off on low margin. It's different gravy, guys. That's different gravy. I don't know where else we go with this. Montreal next week. It all seems kind of anticlimactic after what we saw from Novak Djokovic today. I loved how much it meant to Carlos Alcaraz too. I haven't seen that emotional set from Novak in a very long time. Winning your 7th Wimbledon, it didn't elicit the reaction that his body was shaking.
The moment with him and his daughter was like,
well, it's like
killed me. Like it was like the greatest moment.
If you can't appreciate that, you should just retire from watching sports and like forever. I don't care about I care about respect, right? If you're a fan that is on Twitter, ripping on Novak, then you don't deserve to watch tennis.
Who's doing that? No one's doing
some loser. Like you can like someone more. Someone else can also be great. And if that scene doesn't pull your heartstrings, I don't care. I don't need you to agree with someone's life decisions to respect greatness when it's staring you right in the face and to appreciate it meaning something to someone. Simple. That scene I haven't seen him that emotional for a long time. I thought Carlos was always classy. He's creating quite the off-court legacy for himself as well. I love that he was emotional afterwards. You could see what it meant to him, even after the summer that he's had, right? That's what makes the Olympics a little bit different. I don't think Carlos has that reaction if he loses a U.S. Open final. Because
he knows he gets another shot. Yeah.
He gets to do it again. And he's already done it. So listen, I thought the Olympics tennis, I want to say this like sensitively. I would rather go back if you offered me an Olympic gold. I would take a Wimbledon title. I was on a text thread with some tennis friends who you all would know this morning. They agreed. I don't think the Olympics can mean as much to someone who has a ton of big events every year on a world stage as it does to someone who this is their chance on the world stage. But on someone's individual journey, this gold means more to Novak than a Grand Slam at this point in his career. No doubt. And probably, even when he was 10 slams in, probably would have meant that much. So my macro view on it is different than someone's individual journey. Qinwen taking that gold back to China. I don't even know how we value that. Right? Siniokova and Machach, are they or aren't they? I don't know. Do I love you? Do I hate you? I don't know, but that's great. That's great. I thought the Olympic tennis event was a 10 out of 10. Summer of Pow. It was great. And Novak, I don't know. I don't know how to express the greatness that I saw today. Simply. Well-deserved is the understatement of the year on Served Podcast brought to you by Chase. This has been the Racket Rundown, brought to you by Wilson. I am shameless. It's also an ollie guys, we're going to wrap it here. Thank you for listening to Served, brought to you by Chase. We'll have something else out for you. This is out on Tuesday. Thank you for listening. We'll have something else out for you on Thursday. Then doing a live show. Plug it one more time. Producer Mike, we're doing our first live show in Cincinnati this upcoming week.
Yep, this Friday we will be at the Sonder Brewing in Mason, Ohio. 6:30 start, open to the public. We'll do like an hour show. We got some good special guests. We're special invites from the Cincinnati Open, so we're going to be hopefully leveraging some of that, and then we'll do a little Q&A afterwards and call it a day.
And producer Mike is like, this is a hometown. This is the kid coming home. Big
Bro, I'm
producer.
gonna crush so much Skyline when I get off the plane. You have no idea.
Big Mike Hayden coming home. Big producer of a little podcast that has like 15 listeners. Look at him coming home. When's the parade, Mike?
I mean, I honestly hopefully some of my family members show up. No one responded on the group text, so yeah.
Well, it's gonna be rough. Yeah, can you invite like all the cousins just so there's someone there?
Yeah. There's at least 20 of us there, and then I put a. I don't know how to use Facebook, but my wife said she'd put something up. So,
well, that's dangerous. Anyways, that's for another day. Thanks for listening to Served by Chase. We'll see you soon.